There we go. There's a fish right there. Look at that trout. Ate that dang shrimp. They're hitting it. They're hitting it, bro. They're hitting the shrimp. What's up, y'all? Welcome to the channel. Captain J for another video, and today we're going to be talking about how you can make and design your own soft plastic lure from scratch. I noticed that you guys really enjoyed my copy a lure video where I took some NLBN 3-inch swim baits and made a mold so we can make endless amounts of those baits. Now we're going to be basically making our own design, so we're going to start from scratch, make a clay master, bake that up to make it hard, and then we're going to make a mold from that, and so on and so on. We'll go through each of the steps, but first, step one is to think about what kind of profile you're going to make. Is it going to be a bait fish, a shrimp, a worm, a crawl? You know, there's a bunch of different things to make out of soft plastic lures. That's why it's so versatile. It's so much fun to play with. So let's get into the actual bait making. Alright, so we're going to start by making our master, and we have some lightweight oven baked clay by Sculpting. We're going to start by rolling that out to get a shape. Now, I like to do this on tin foil because it needs to be baked to be hardened. So we're going to start by making it on the tin foil so that we don't have to move it to the tin foil once we have it made. Because once you get down to the small detail, you don't really want to touch it. Because the main thing with designing a lure like this is you want it to be balanced. And that is probably the hardest part to achieve because we are doing this by hand. So if you have access to, say, a 3D printer, you're going to be able to get a lot more balance in your master copy. Alright, so we've been playing with the clay a little bit, and basically what we're doing is we're rolling it into a shape, right? We're getting it into the size that we want, and then we took the popsicle sticks here and made a little shape, you know, to make it kind of square up. So we squared it up and we ended up with this. And then what I'm going to do over here is we're going to make some kind of tail, and I've got this piece of plastic that we are going to cut tail pieces from, like this. We're just going to drop it like that, and I think we'll get another one here. And we're cutting these tail pieces with this plastic. See if we can get one more. Just so we got one to screw up with. Alright, so we've cut the tail pieces, and we're going to use these strategically. So one thing to think about is how big your lure is going to be, what type of rigging you want to use. We're aiming to use a jig head. We're just going to attach them to the side like so. We don't want to manipulate them the least amount as possible. Come over here, look at that. Get our popsicle sticks. So when we push it, it's kind of straight. Alright, now we're going to make little sections on the shrimp. We're going to cut into it like, make little aggressive indentions here to give it some type of realistic segmentation like a shrimp does have, those little segments. So we're going to come in on the side and make it a little bit segmented on the side. And we're going to leave the eyes off just because the jig head I planned on using has an eye, so thinking about doing. was adding one upright right there. So we're going to try to cut this. We're using this piece of plastic as a knife. We're going to cut this like that. And then we're going to add it right to the back. And we're going to make it stand upright so that this will be somewhat of a kicker. We're just checking to make sure that everything is balanced as we can get it by eye, you know, because this is handmade stuff here, you know. It ain't the measurements could be off from here to there slightly, which makes a big difference. We're going to take this to the oven, and they recommend 275 for 15 minutes for every 1/4 inch thickness. So we're going to put this in for 20 minutes ish. So we're going to put it in for 20 minutes and we'll get back when we're done. Alright, so we done baked up our master here, and this is what we're left with. It's got this little kicker tail on the back, and our tail fins there. The back is flat, so that's what we're going to use to glue to the mold box. And all in all, I think we've successfully created a bait master of a shrimp. We didn't go with any eyes because we're going to use a jig head more than likely. And yeah, it looks proportionate enough to go ahead and make a mold from it. So first thing you want to do is you want to use some kind of clear coat, because if you made a mold of this right here, your silicone is going to end up with a dull finish, which will in turn create a dull finish on the soft plastic end result. So you have to clear coat this to give it a shiny surface so that your bait has a more glossy sheen and you can see the flake, you can see through it better. Without this, it comes out very dull and matte. So you have to clear coat it, which we're going to get into here. Alright, so while that's curing up from the clear glaze, we're going to go ahead and make our mold box. We got the corrugated cardboard here from Michaels, and we're going to go ahead and cut us up a lure box here. I sped this part up to save time, but it's quite easy to make a mold box from the plastic cardboard. You can use almost anything for a box as long as it has a flat enough bottom to glue a bait to. I've used old packaging, Tupperware, but I find using the plastic cardboard is more customized for a specific bait, and you cut down on wasting silicone. Here I'm cutting through one side of the plastic to create a long trough, and then I hot glue the shorter ends. Now you want to make sure to cut everything square as possible, so when you glue up there isn't a lot of large gaps. The least amount of hot glue is desirable, but don't be afraid to goober it on. You don't want it to leak. I use a piece of tape to hold the sides upright while I glue, and I actually made the box too narrow and had to go with a different base. One thing to note is I'm not a professional bait maker, but I enjoy creating, exploring, and trying new things, and this is just that. A video of what I know, what I've picked up, and I always appreciate any comments or advice. Hit the like and subscribe, and let's get back to it. So I'm just going to cover up the back of the bait with super glue, get it to the edges so that when you put it in the mold box, it adheres evenly, because this is where you're going to be pouring your plastic through, and you want it to be a nice opening. So there's the glue. I should have cut this. I should have cut this beforehand. come in, place it down. So we'll let that super glue cure up. In about 10 minutes we'll pour the mold. Okay, so I think the super glue is set up. We're going to go ahead and get this Alumilte mold maker into the box. Cures within 30 minutes. We're going to give it about an hour. Well, actually, we're going to give it overnight. We're going to make this and we'll come back tomorrow. But let's get to pouring. Calls for a 1-to-1 mix ratio, so it's pretty simple to use. And you can pick it up at your local Hobby Lobby and all those types of stores. 4 ounces of the red, then we'll come in with the rest. 4 ounces of the part B. Make sure you scrape the sides and the bottom to get everything incorporated. I believe it says it has a 6-minute work time. So now when you pour your silicone, you want to start from one corner and just go real slow so that it has time to hit all the crevices without creating air gaps. So we're trying to get a nice even flow of silicone to push out all the air gaps. And she's filling up pretty quick. You can see the bubbles popping out as we speak. We're fully covered, so we can go ahead and just fill in the other side there. I think that's a full mold there. So there we go. Filled her up. I can see the bubbles popping right now. And we'll let it cure up. We'll get back to you tomorrow, unmold it, and maybe pour some baits and see what it looks like. What's up, y'all? Day 2, and we let this thing cure overnight. So it should be plenty cured up. We're going to pop it out and you just work it out little by little. And what we're trying to do is we're trying not to destroy the mold box on this one. We're just going to try to pull it out without breaking apart the box. And we pulled the bait out with it. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. We can reuse this box. So there's that. And then we'll just pop the bait out. Now we did get a little flashing where we're going to have to cut that off with our Exacto. But all together now. Looking pretty good. It's going to be a nice shrimp. What do you think? I think that'll be a shrimp. It's got the little tail, little paddle in the back, and one thing about these baits is you don't really know. You can only guess what it's going to do in the water, right? I mean, from experience, you kind of build off of that. So hopefully it doesn't hopefully it doesn't swim too crazy. We're having fun out here. Let's go make some baits. Let's go make some shrimps. What's up, crew? Alright, so we got that mold made up, and I just wanted to go over some of the stuff that you need to get started. You need some Plastisol. You can get a bunch of different hardnesses, a bunch of different brands, about $50 a gallon. If you get it by the gallon, you can get it cheaper by the bulk, but you got to put some money into it. Then you can get into the different colorants, different flakes, pigment powders, pearl powders, and glow-in-the-dark powders. All kinds of sparkles, flake, glitter. And you're going to need some Pyrex cups. You're going to need something to stir that hot plastic with. And a butter knife actually is probably one of the best because you can Skim it off on the edge of the cup. You don't use any plastic. Spoon, not so much. And you need a microwave. You need a heat gun. I got this at Harbor Freight. All this will be linked in the description down below, so you can get your soft plastic on. Now, I did make a shrimp before this one, and it didn't quite turn out the way I wanted it. So I wanted to make another one and show you why I did so. If you can see that bait, is kind of dull, right? Look at the bottom. That's the kind of bait you want. You want something shiny. You can see the glitter. The dullness, you can't see the glitter too good. And that is because I didn't spray with a clear coat or a high gloss. So that's what you get when you don't spray your master copy with a high gloss clear coat. And then we're about to print these up, and I got some other stuff that we're going to pour up to. So we're going to take each of these shrimp and see which one works the best. I'm thinking the one with the tail, not so much the one with the eyes, but I could be wrong. The fish are going to let us know which ones they like, not which ones I like. So, and we're going to start with about half a cup of each, and I think we're going to go with a Grass Glow chartreuse, and then we're going to try maybe some pearl whites or something. You want to start out by heating them up slowly, 30 seconds to a minute at a time. Stir it, heat it up some more, stir it, because you can burn it with the microwave. There's a better way to cook your plastic, and that's in like a crock pot. The small little plug-in crock pots, those are probably the best thing because you can maintain a steady temperature and you won't end up burning the plastic. Eventually, after using the microwave to heat it up 4, 5, 6 times, you'll get a yellower color each pour. It'll be more and more yellow, more and more yellow. So you want to, that's why I only poured half a cup. So we make half a cup, maybe a full cup at the most. But, you know, half a cup, 1 cup increments, so that you're not heating up the plastic to the point of burning all the time. And we'll just get in here and stir them up. They're nowhere near ready. Give them a quick stir. Back on another minute. And yeah, we'll let that heat up. And then we're going to go with glow in the dark grass green, mixed with a little lime truce. And then we're either going to do, we might do this silk pearl powder. That stuff's fancy. Maybe that with a little silver flake. Yeah, getting closer. Now if you can, you want to do this outside. But if you can't, you want to be in a well ventilated area because, whoo boy, it's plastic. You're going to be breathing it in. No good. And if you can, you want to have a dedicated microwave. Because I mean, there's plastic on the sides and stuff. You don't want to put food in there. If you get these up to temp. Plenty, 345. And we'll come with the green grass glow. Now we gotta shake this up. Dang camera cut off right as I was pouring. Got too hot. Come on, man. So we're gonna get them back up to temp. Now it is advisable to get yourself a pair of gloves because these stuff can get real hot. I've just been doing it for a little while, so I know where to grab the cup. And just be careful. You know, this is not something for young children to be doing. Because, I mean, you get that plastic on you, bro. You are burnt. There ain't no getting it off. You are burnt. So yeah, don't play around. Get yourself some gloves. Don't be like me. Don't do as I do. Check the temp. 350. 350. We're gonna try a little something here. We're gonna try to dump a quick chartreuse tail. I'm gonna come in with the silk pearl. Finish it out. Alright, y'all, so we poured some up, and these were the first ones. The camera cut out on me. But we got some right here, and we're going to bring you down to get a look. Alright, so first, the shrimp that we made. Boom. We actually poured a chartreuse tail. So yeah, I think that, oh, a little crack right there. We're not going to pull on it though. It's a little cold crack. Cool water just to bring them down to temp completely. Then you got to dry them off. Here goes some of these little guys. Now you do just pull these little tags off. Sometimes you got to cut them if you really messed up. I think that might catch a fish. What do you think? And not too bad on the connection there. Pretty good. That'll work. Yeah, we didn't have a full chartreuse shrimp. Get that shrimp done. Do a bait. That one is hot. Oh. So there you go. Pour them up at will. Trying to do a double color here. Chartreuse detail. Maybe. We'll see. It should work. Alright, there you go. We got a few baits laid out. The ones that we printed up. And probably could have had a few more drops, but these are glow. These are glow in the dark. Green. And this one, I mean, put a jig head on it, you know, put a jig head on it and pop it around. We'll see what happens. One of these is going to get ate by a fish, and we got a couple Carolina pumpkin of the club tails. Carolina pumpkin red up there, if they're not hitting like a lighter color. Some herring scent. Take our baits, throw them in the container. See how they stick together. So you take your oil or your scent and give them a nice squirt, and then they don't stick no more. You stir them up good. Oh yeah, and they got that smell. Oh yeah, ready to catch some fish now. And that way, the tails don't really get too bent up. So this one. Just till they're nice and set up, you know. Keep the tail straight. Yeah. Dude. Alright, we're out here fishing with that homemade shrimp. The paddle tail shrimp. Trout money. And we gotta try the other one. So if this one ain't getting bit, see if the other one will get bit better. There we go. There's a fish right there. Look at that trout. Look at that trout money right there. Look at that trout money right there. Look at that trout. That's a nice trout right there. On the freaking homemade shrimp, baby. Woo! Look at that. Ate that dang thing. Look at that trout. Ate that dang shrimp. I knew we'd catch a trout on that ground. Oh, we got one on the floppy tail. Look at that. They're hitting it. They're hitting it, bro. They're hitting the shrimp. You know, they can't let this shrimp get away from them. That's all it is. These trout will not let this shrimp get away. Thanks for playing, little guy. I really wanted to include more fish catches in this video, but it's getting lengthy as it is. I will have to make a separate video with more fish catches on these baits. The trout season should be getting good with the cooler weather coming in here in Pinellas County, so I'm excited to go catch them. I hope you got something out of this video, and if so, go get you some clay and some silicone. Go catch some fish. Have a great day, and remember, live this life and have fun doing it.